Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the inner sanctum.
We go back 79 years to November 19th, 1943. Amos-n-Andy here on Classic Radio Theater, and we thank you for tuning in. On this Saturday, this is the 19th day of November, 323rd day of the year, 42 days left till we get to 2023. Christopher Columbus goes ashore on an island he first saw the day before in 1493. He named it San Juan Bautista. It would later be renamed Puerto Rico. Samuel Goldfish, who would later change his name to Samuel Goldwyn, and Edward Selwyn established Goldwyn Company. The company later became one of the most successful independent filmmakers. This was in 1916. Sammy Davis Jr. lost his left eye on this date in 1954 in an auto accident in the San Bernardino, California. Ford announced they would discontinue the Edsel on this date in 1959. Apollo 12 astronauts Charles Conrad and Alan Bean landed at Oceanus Proclarium, the ocean of storms, and became the third and fourth humans to walk on the moon.
Okay, the flag is up.
Roger, copy, the flag is up. We show you're very close to the nominal timeline. How about a EMU check?
Okay. Yes, we have the flag up. Like I say, I hope everybody down there is proud of it. If we are to put it up.
Man returning to the moon on this date in 1969. Iranian leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini ordered the release of 13 female and black American hostages in 1979 being held at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. President Reagan, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev met for the first time in Geneva on this date in 1985. In 1990, pop group Milli Vanilli stripped of their Grammy Award because they didn't sing at all on the Girl You Know It's True album. Session musicians provided all the vocals. The House of Representatives Judiciary Committee began impeachment hearings against President Clinton in 1998. And in 1999, John Carpenter became the first contestant to win $1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the U.S. A brawl broke out on this date in 2004 between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers during their game at the Palace of Auburn Hills. The brawl turned into an even larger fight between Pacers players and Pistons fans. It became known as Malice in the Palace. And the Nintendo Wii first went on sale on this date in 2006. 2007, Amazon introducing the Kindle. And I have a Kindle, which I take with me on all of my long trips. Passing away on this date in history, actor, singer, dancer Stephen Fetchit, singer-songwriter Bobby Russell, Mike Nichols of Nichols and May, Charlie Manson, the mass murderer, Della Reese, and Mel Tillis. This is the birth date of President James Garfield, evangelist Billy Sunday.
America needs a tidal wave of the old-time religion. America needs to be taken down to God's bathhouse and the hose turned on her. And the time isn't far distant when the wheels of God's judgment are going to go sweeping through this old God-hating world. And I want to take a pledge in this audience to join me in a pledge that you will never rest until this old God-hating, Christ-hating, whiskey-soaked, Sabbath-breaking, blaspheming, infidel, bootlegging old world is bound to the cross of Jesus Christ by the golden chains of love.
Billy Sunday, back in 1929. He was born on this date in 1862. Actor Clifton Webb, bandleader Tommy Dorsey, Prime Minister of India Indira Gandhi, the man who was the straight man for Mr. Ed, but a very funny man on his own, Alan Young.
Lester had a knack, even though he used a soft nylon thread put under the lip. And then he had end going down the bridle, and he just give it a little tug, and Ed would try to get rid of it. That was his cue. And then he laid a crop across Ed's forelegs, and that was the cue to stop. That was it. But the second year, we could hardly stop him from talking. As soon as he heard my voice stop, his lips would start to go. I'd go ride. I learned to ride on Ed, and Lester and I'd go riding in Griffith Park together, and we'd talk as we rode along, and suddenly Lester laughed. And Lester didn't laugh very much. He said, look at Ed's mouth. When I stopped talking, he'd start to move his mouth. So he was a smart horse.
Alan Young, born on this date in history. Also actress Jean Tierney, Larry King, whom we lost last year at the age of 87, and actor Dan Haggerty. Happy birthday number 86 for talk show host Dick Cavett. A lot of his shows are resurfacing again on YouTube, and that's always nice to see some people we haven't seen in a while. Also, Ted Turner turns 84. Yes, Calvin Klein, 80 years old. From The West Wing and Mom, Allison Janney, 63, Meg Ryan, 61, Jodie Foster, 60, Dax in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Terry Farrell, 58, country singer Billy Currington, 49, the co-founder of Twitter and the founder of Square, Jack Dorsey, 46, and 1996 Olympic gold medalist gymnast Carrie Strug is 45. Though some of the people celebrating the 19th day of November is their birthday, and if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And from 79 years ago today, November 19th, 1943, Freeman Gosden, Charles Correll, Amos-n-Andy, on this Saturday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station. Thanks for tuning in on this Saturday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Thanksgiving week. Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll, Amos-n-Andy, November 19th, 1943, 79 years ago today, Turkey Trouble.
Good evening. The makers of the new Rinso bring you the Amos-n-Andy Show with their guest tonight, the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer star currently appearing in Heavenly Body, Miss Spring Byington. Andrew H. Brown rarely has anything to look forward to. However, this happens to be one of those occasions when he can hardly wait for the day to arrive. His nephew, Jimmy, a member of the armed forces, is coming to New York to spend his furlough with his Uncle Andy. At the moment, the proud uncle is in his office reading Jimmy's letter to Andy.
Listen to this part of the letter, Amos.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
He say here, and so I will arrive in New York sometime Thanksgiving morning and will come right to your place. I sure will be happy to see you, Uncle Andy. Give my regards to your friend Amos, your loving nephew, Jimmy.
Oh, that's great. He's coming up to New York for Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah, that's nice, Andy.
Yeah, and look here. He done sent me his picture here in his uniform.
Oh, let me see that. Boy, he's certainly good looking, all right.
Sure is. Everybody say he looks exactly like me.
Tell me this, Andy. Is you going to give your nephew a nice Thanksgiving dinner?
Well, now, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. I is pretty proud of that boy, Amos.
Oh, I know you is, Andy.
And now, look here. You see, I live in one room, and I ain't got no stove or nothing. I ain't got no way of cooking no big Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I know.
And I kind of hate to ask you this, but...
Go ahead.
Well, I was wondering if you would put on the dinner at your place. I'd buy the turkey and pay for everything. You see, Amos, it's just on account of my nephew. I'm kind of proud of him, and I want to do it right.
Oh, sure, Andy. Sure we'll do it.
Oh, that sure is nice of you, Amos. I really appreciate that, and I know Jimmy will, too. Yeah, I'm going to write him and tell him that we're going to have a big Thanksgiving dinner for him with turkey and everything.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Andy, Thanksgiving Day is a week from yesterday, and I hear that turkeys is pretty scarce.
Oh, I'll get one all right, Amos. Don't worry. The Kingfish say that he's going to take me over to see his butcher.
I thought the Kingfish and his butcher wasn't speaking to each other.
Well, they wasn't, but Kingfish made up with him at the beginning of the turkey season.
Well, now, all you got to do, Andy, is to get the turkey, and me and Ruby will take care of everything else.
Oh, that's great. Put it there, son.
Well, hello there, boys. How is you?
Yeah.
Well, hello there, Kingfish. We're just talking about you.
Who you was, huh? Speaking of the loving Kingfish.
By the way, did you see the picture of Andy's nephew, Jimmy?
Yeah, look here. Here it is right here. He look pretty good, don't he? He's my nephew on my mama and papa side.
Yeah, nice picture here. He's a private already, huh?
You know, Kingfish, Andy's nephew is coming up here for Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, and I want to get a turkey for him. Kingfish, I want you to take me over to your butcher like you said you would.
Oh, anytime at all, Brother Andy. Yeah, I'll go with you now.
Okay, that's good. By the way, do you know anything about how to pick out a good turkey, Kingfish?
Yeah, sure I do. Brother Andy, whenever I picks out a turkey, I always kind of feels around the legs there. That's important.
It is, huh?
Oh, yeah, you take an athlete. Now, when he runs and exercises and all that stuff, he gets hard and tough. So the idea in picking out a turkey is to get one that has done led a lazy life.
Well, Kingfish, I got just one turkey left.
Yeah, let us take a look at it, Carl. It's for my friend here, Mr. Brown. He got a nephew coming home from the army on Thanksgiving, and he wants to get a nice tender bird.
Yeah. How much did that turkey weigh that you has got there, mister?
Oh, about 14 pounds. That's it right up there on that hook. Last one left.
Boy, that looked good, all right.
Put it down here on the counter, Carl, so I can examine it.
Yeah, sure will. Yeah, yeah, sir.
Now, let me see here. I want to feel around his legs here. Yeah. This turkey has done a lot of running, didn't he?
That's prime turkey, and the only one I got left. You're lucky to get it.
Yeah, I think I'll take it, Kingfish.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. Keep your big mouth shut. Wait just a minute here. Don't let's rush into the thing. Let me feel the turkey's wings here. Done a lot of flying, too, didn't it, Carl?
To tell you the truth, Kingfish, I don't know. I just met the bird 3 days ago.
Well, I'm going to take it, Kingfish.
Andy, will you please wait a minute? I'm just trying to help you here. Turn the turkey over on the other side, will you, Carl?
Yeah.
You know, Andy, I don't like the shape of this turkey's back.
Look here, Kingfish. We ain't buying the turkey for its figure.
Yeah, but all them things count.
Excuse me a second, boys. I want to go out in front and raise the awning up.
All right, Carl.
Listen, Kingfish.
Wait a minute. Come on down here, Andy, so we can talk. I don't want this other butcher down the other end of here.
Well, Kingfish, why can't I buy that turkey?
Now, look, Andy. Do whatever you want to do. It's your money. I just try to help you. I try to give you the benefit of my long turkey experiences.
It's a good turkey, though, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a good turkey, Andy, but I like to check and double-check the thing to make sure.
Well, if you think the turkey is all right, why is we hemming and hawing round here?
Listen, Andy, it's just like when a fella is figuring on marrying some gal. She might look nice and pretty and look good in clothes and all that stuff. At the same time, you want to get a look in her mouth to make sure that you ain't go run into $50 or $100 worth of dental work. And we just want to make sure that we're getting a good turkey, too.
Well, I'm going to buy it, Kingfish.
Okay, then, and I don't think you can go wrong.
Say, Carl, I'll take that turkey.
All right, I'll put it on the scale. Hey, wait a minute. Say, Joe, What'd you do with that turkey that was right here?
Well, I just sold it to that man going out the door there.
Well,
Kingfish, what would you charge to stop helping me?
Well, I'm sorry you boys missed your chance of that turkey, but I guess Joe didn't know you was thinking about buying it.
Come on, Andy. We'll go to a good butcher shop. Listen, Carl, if this is the way that you want to treat an old customer that has paid up till last July, it's okay with me.
Sorry, gentlemen, we haven't had a turkey in here in 10 days. We got a mailing list a mile long.
No turkeys, huh?
Not a chance. We don't expect any more turkeys until after the first of the year, and maybe not then.
Turkeys? Are you kidding?
Yes, Henry, there just ain't a turkey for sale in the whole town.
Yes, I know. Mrs. Van Porter was saying at breakfast this morning that the turkey situation is cute. But I didn't know it was cute as that.
Yeah, well, I could have got one, but this part-time genius here, the Kingfish, helped me so much I didn't get it.
Considering the source of that remark, I'm going to disignore the whole thing.
Please, boys, please, let's not have no fights. After all, we is all civilized gentlemen, you know.
Come in, Lightning, come in.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Lightning.
I thought I'd find you fellas over here at Miss Andy's office. Miss Andy, this letter come for you over at the Lodge Hall, and I thought it might be something important.
Oh, thank you, Lightning. Well, it's from Jimmy.
Oh, it is, huh? What do we say, Andy?
Yes, what is in it?
Say, dear Uncle Andy, I don't have time to write much, but there is a buddy of mine here at camp who lives too far away to go home and visit his folks for Thanksgiving. I took the liberty of asking him to come up to New York with me and have Thanksgiving turkey dinner with us. I hope this will be okay with you. Your loving nephew, Jimmy. Well, fellas, I really got to get a turkey someplace. I ain't going to let them two boys down.
Yeah, sounds like they're counting on turkey already. Gee, Andy, I wish I'd known how to help you.
Yeah.
I wonder if there would be anything in getting a couple of chickens and tell your nephew that the turkeys is running small this year.
Well, another thing, I'd have to tell him that the turkey this year tastes like chickens, too.
Yeah, I guess you would.
Say, boys, I just had a thought here.
Oh, what was that, Henry?
Well, Andy, I wonder if there's any chance of you getting the priority on the turkey.
Priority?
Yes, I know that the Army has done took a lot of turkeys this year, which is as it should be. But it just occurred to me that as long as you was getting the turkey for your nephew and his friend, who was in the Army, you might be able to get a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Say, yeah, that's worth trying. Where would I go?
Well, I know that there's a special priority board downtown that handles the unusual things like that. I has had occasion to go there myself. As for Miss Spring Byington.
Come on, Kingfish. We is going down there right now.
November 19th, 1943, Amos-n-Andy here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Every so often we hear from people who are very culturally sensitive, and they get very offended about the fact that I air Amos-n-Andy on Classic Radio Theater, and I wrote something a while back that I send to these people who contact me about it not being appropriate. Thank you for your comment about Classic Radio Theater. As you may be aware, our program is not just about sanitized history, but news and radio as it truly took place in the media of the day. To sanitize the programs of the time is to literally change history, which is something that we as Americans cannot do. As the late philosopher George Santayana said in The Life of Reason, The Phases of Human Progress back in 1905 so eloquently, quoting, Progress, far from consisting in change, depends upon retentiveness. When change is absolute, there remains no being to improve, and no direction is set for possible improvement. And when experience is not retained, as among savages, infancy is perpetual. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Those my words and my opinions, and I'm sure you can appreciate them. The news from this date in history in 1943, 79 years ago, comes up in just a moment following these important messages. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station, an episode of Amos-n-Andy, as it was originally broadcast on Friday, November 19th, 1943. In the newspapers of that Friday, 79 years ago, these were some of the headlines. Britain's heaviest bombers hammered Berlin last night in their first big attack on the German capital in 2 months and struck almost simultaneously in raids from which 32 planes failed to return. German divisions operating in Italy and southeastern Europe were estimated at about 50, 10 of them facing the 5th and 8th Armies in southern Italy. Triumphant Russian forces virtually have sealed the fate of Gomel, German anchor stronghold on the White Russian front, by capturing a city 25 miles west, and have dealt a heavy blow to German frontline communications by seizing Koreston, 170 miles to the southwest. A wreath will be placed on the grave of Staff Sergeant Delmer Park today in memory of the first American soldier to lose his life in the Middle East. Sergeant Park from Tucson killed 2 years ago today when a German column broke through the British lines on the western desert. Striking for the fourth successive day at German planes massed for a continued attack in the Aegean, American heavy and medium bombers virtually completed destruction of Elza's airfield at Athens yesterday and bombed another enemy air base at Larissa on the Greek east coast. The row over food subsidies blew the whole question of inflation wide open on Capitol Hill today. The situation this: the House and Senate apparently are geared, at least they talk that way, to banning subsidies, government payments to producers intended to hold down retail food costs. Each branch expects President Roosevelt to veto the measure that contains the subsidy prohibition, and high spokesmen agree they do not have enough votes to override that veto. Meanwhile, the subsidy question is being seized upon by both sides as a prime argument over inflation. Administration backers say that without subsidies, prices will go up and inflation will be here. Opponents argue that the subsidies themselves are inflationary. And in Fort Riley, Kansas, use of small garbage pails instead of big ones is going a long way towards solving the food waste problem in Army camps. Quartermaster conservation officers say small pails have helped to reduce food waste there to less than 9 ounces for each 100 meals served. The large GI garbage can was discarded, small cans substituted, labeled liquid, bread, vegetables, dessert, and meat and salad. The soldier must separate each of these foods and place each in the proper can. Rather than go through the greasy process, he's careful to take no more than he can eat. Those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Friday, November 19th, 1943, on your radio, Amos-n-Andy. The conclusion next on this Saturday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Stotts Cotsworth on Sunday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Casey Crime Photographer from 75 years ago today, November 20th, 1947, and Earned Reward. Shorty Irwin, one of Casey's rival photographers, tries for a $5,000 reward. He exposes a murderer and develops death. That's on Sunday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But right now, the conclusion of Amos-n-Andy from 79 years ago today, November 19th, 1943.
Did you wish to see me?
Is you Miss Spring Byington?
That's right. Can I help you?
Yes. Tell Miss Byington the whole story, Andy.
I'll start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we come down to the rationing boat here is on account of my nephew. You see, he's in the Army, and he's coming home for Thanksgiving.
Oh, isn't that nice? I was just saying to my husband this morning that I wish Harry, he's our nephew, was coming home for Thanksgiving. He's in a camp in the Middle West. But if he can't be, it can't be.
That's right. Now, what I want to explain to you...
On the other hand, Philip, that's my sister's son. He's stationed in Georgia. Oh, a lovely boy. He looks a lot like my sister Elaine.
Yeah, that's good, all right.
Go ahead, Andy. Tell Miss Byington what you want to tell her.
Yeah, I'll begin at the beginning. You see, my nephew is in the Army, and he's coming home for Thanksgiving.
Oh, really? Isn't that nice?
Huh?
I know how happy you must be. You know, I have a nephew, too.
Yes, we know. He lives in the Middle West, and he can't get home for Thanksgiving.
Oh, you know him?
And start at the beginning again, will you?
Well, this nephew and his buddy is coming home for Thanksgiving, and I want to give him a big dinner.
And we want you to help us if you can.
Why, of course I will. Now, I'd suggest that the first thing you do is to get a turkey.
That's what we want to see you about. You see, we ain't got no turkey.
Well, if I were you, I'd hurry up and get one. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I understand they're getting scarce.
We heard the same rumor,
Excuse me, Miss Byington, but we can get priorities here, can't we?
Oh, yes, indeed. That's what we're here for.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
What kind of a priority was it you wanted? Tires or extra gasoline?
And do you think we is too far from the beginning to go back there again?
Well, we can try going back there once more. You see, my nephew is in the Army, and tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, really? Are you going to have a turkey dinner for him?
Not at the rate we're going, lady, no.
You see, like I said before, that's what we come in to see you about. We can't get one in the whole city, Miss Byington, and you see... This dinner is for a couple of soldiers, and that's why we're trying to get a priority from the government on it. You see, we got all the trimmings, but the trouble is we ain't got nothing to trim.
A priority on a turkey?
Yeah, it's our only chance of getting one. We done scarred the whole town. And I promise you that I won't eat none of the turkey myself. I might dip my bread in the gravy, but that's all.
Well, this is the first request we've had like this. I'd like to help. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call up regional headquarters and see what they say about it.
We'd appreciate it if you would.
You might fill out this application blank in the meantime, just in case.
Okay. Name. I guess I better put Amos Jones' name and address down, too, because that's where we want to have the dinner.
That'll be fine.
Regional headquarters?
Oh, Dorothy, this is Spring.
Oh, hello, Spring.
I called you last night. You weren't home, you little stay out.
Jeanette and I went over to that millinery class. I'm making the most stunning hat you ever saw.
Oh, you're making me so jealous. I need a hat so badly for my new coat. What kind are you making, Dorothy?
Oh, it's sort of an idea of my own. It's an off-the-face turban.
Oh, that should be gorgeous. Especially with your hair. Oh, anything else new?
No, except that I'm going over to Clara's Sunday afternoon. You going?
Well, I don't know whether Frank's going to play golf or not, but I'll be talking to you before that. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
If there's anything that annoys me, it's some woman calling me when I'm busy and just talking about nothing. Now, where were we?
You called her.
I called her?
You was going to ask her if there was some way that we could get a priority on a turkey.
Well, how do you like that? She hung up without telling me.
You didn't ask her.
I didn't? Oh, I suppose it's my fault. But it's just that girl talks so incessantly and rambles on. What now? Hello.
Spring, this is Dorothy again. You didn't tell me what you called me up for.
Oh, I'm glad you called back, Dorothy. Listen, can we give out a priority order for a turkey?
Well, not that I know of. At least I've never heard of it.
Well, if anybody would know about it, it would be you.
Well, I've never heard of it since I've been here.
Well, that's all I want to know. Thanks, Dorothy.
Goodbye.
I'm awfully sorry, but there just is no such thing.
Yeah, well, thanks anyway, Miss Byington. We sure appreciate what you try to do for us.
I guess the boys will just have to get along without gasoline. I mean, without a turkey. Goodbye.
No luck at the rationing board, huh, fellas?
No, Amos, nothing. And we even went to 6 more butcher shops and still couldn't get none.
Yes, Amos, I'm going to tell you, I know my way around Harlem here, and I know all the ropes. But I tell you, I just about to give up the thing.
Say, I was just wondering, is there any place where we could get a wild turkey, maybe?
Oh, Andy, there ain't no wild turkeys around here. What you talking about? You know, them pilgrims got all of them.
They did, huh?
Sure they did.
Well, tell me this, does you know a pilgrim that we could call up?
Oh, Andy, that was years and years ago, Andy. By the way, did you see that letter on your desk there that come for you?
Oh, no. Hey, looky here. There's another letter from Jimmy.
Oh, it is, huh?
Oh, say, maybe his friend ain't coming. Mm-hmm. Then if Jimmy comes up here alone, I can take him out to dinner.
Yeah, no. Go ahead and read it then, Andy.
Yeah. Dear Uncle Andy, I want to tell you that I am thinking of 3...
What do you say, Andy?
He's bringing 3 more fellas.
Andy, what time did Jimmy say that him and his friends would get here?
Well, he say sometime around noon. So I guess they won't be here for an hour or maybe an hour and a half yet. Is it anything else you need, Ruby? I'll go down to the store and get it.
No, Andy, I think we have everything. And I think it's going to be a pretty nice dinner, too.
Yeah, well, I bought everything I could think of.
I know you did, Andy. And I'm going to fix everything just as good as I know how.
Oh, yeah, there ain't no question about that, Ruby. I know that. You is a wonderful cook, but there ain't nobody that can make frankfurters take like turkey.
Oh, but I think that the boys will enjoy their dinner.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. That can't be Jimmy. It's too early for you.
It might be for me. I'll get it, Amos.
Is there a Mr. Brown here?
Yes. Yes, won't you come in? Andy, there's a lady to see you.
Hello, Mr. Brown.
Oh, hello there. Hello. You is the lady from the ration boat, ain't you?
That's right, and I have a turkey for you. Here.
Oh, a turkey for me?
Yes. You see, we ordered our own turkey about a month ago, and this morning some friends of ours dropped in and gave us a turkey from their farm, and I want you to have it.
Well, gee, I couldn't...
And fortunately, I had this address, that you put on the priority blank, remember? Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I don't know how to thank you. I wouldn't take the thing for myself, but on account of my nephew and his soldier friends coming, it'll sure make it nice for them. How much do I owe you for it?
Oh, you don't owe me anything. It didn't cost me anything. I'm not in the turkey business.
Oh, well, this sure is nice of you, lady.
Yes, it sure is wonderful.
Oh, go on. Well, I've got to run along now and start cooking my own dinner. Goodbye again.
Goodbye.
That sure was sweet of that lady.
Yeah. Now I'll really be able to give them a Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, boy, am I happy.
That turkey sure looks good, don't it? Look at there.
Boy, That turkey sure smell good, too.
Yeah, tell me this, Ruby. When is you going to take it out of the oven?
Oh, it's got about an hour to go yet. I hope the boys get here on time.
Yeah. Look at it there, Amos. Just look at that thing.
Yeah, that's something all right, ain't it?
Yeah. Look at right there. See how it kind of browning up on the breast there? Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. This is getting brown, ain't it?
Oh, boy, wouldn't that turkey be proud if he could see himself right now?
I just got to baste it a little more here.
Yeah.
Look at that gravy going over that breast.
I wonder why they don't make perfume out of that stuff. You know, Amos, that must be them now. Now remember, do just like we said.
Okay, come on now, Ruby, come on.
Yeah, and just when I put my hand on the doorknob, we start the thing. You ready?
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh.
I've got a special delivery letter for Mr. Brown.
For me?
Yeah. Sign right there.
Oh, yes, sir.
At the lodge hall, they told me you were over here.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's the matter, Andy? You look sad.
What is it, Andy?
Yeah, well, I is sad, Amos. But I is proud, too.
What do it say, Andy?
It's from Jimmy.
It is, huh?
Will not be able to come to New York. Neither will the other boys. We are leaving for a port of embarkation. By the time you get this, we will no doubt be on our way overseas. Love, Jimmy.
You can really be proud of that boy, Andy.
Yeah. God bless him. I sure hope he has a safe trip. How many guests did you invite over here for the turkey dinner, Andy?
7 of them.
Who all did you invite?
I don't know their names. Just 7 boys from the USO.
Join us again next week at this same time for the Amos-n-Andy Show, at which time Amos and Andy will have as their guest the fine picture character actor, Mr. Donald Meek. Our program is shortwave to our armed forces overseas, wherever they may be. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for all of us and thanking the charming MGM star, Miss Spring Byington, for appearing with us tonight. Thank you, and good night.
Almost 2 years into America's involvement in World War II, things were difficult. And yet, if we could have that kind of unity, if we could do what we can to help one another, and if we could do what we can to be kind to one another, what an amazing world would we have. From November 19th, 1943, Amos and Andy here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Friends, I need to ask you to do me a favor and go to our webpage, classicradio.stream. The mainmost reason is for you to know that the website is there. And the mainmost reason we need to make sure that you know the website is there is because in case anything ever happens, in case for some reason this radio station loses our program, you have a way to get in touch with us. That's at classicradio.stream. Our social media links are there for Facebook and Twitter. And anything going on, we post them there. We also post our daily show uploads to podcasts there as well. You can also stream them at the webpage. And you can also contact us there. You can also buy me a copy. And you can learn to build a collection of your own. The Buy Me a Copy helps us expand our collection, and we thank those of you who have helped with that. And also our friend Ted over at Radio Memories has just restored a whole bunch of classic radio programs, and they're available at a very reasonable cost on cassette, CD, or flash drive for your computer. Go to Ted at radiomemories.com, tell him we sent you by, and he'll help you out. Also, my friends, please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. Their kindness and courtesy allow us to come to you each and every Saturday, and we never forget their kindness. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.